not share.
While Spider-Man has faced several dangerous villains across his story arc, Sergei Kravenov, also known as Kraven the Hunter, is certainly one of his most memorable opponents. While some villains flaunt their wits or strength, Kraven is quite the deadly combination of both these traits. Known for his tactical mind as well as his experience as a hunter, Kraven had quite a tragic childhood that shaped him into a deadly force of nature that he is now. He has a wide range of powers such as enhanced speed and stamina, and he's also cursed with immortality. Today we will also explore his unique physiological features and tell you all about Kraven the Hunter. Now, just before we go into our video, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Now let's begin. Who is Kraven, and how did he become one of the deadliest Spider-Man villains? Born in Russia during the peak of the Russian Revolution in 1917, Sergei Kravenov's family soon fled to the United States to escape the war. He lost both his parents and then traveled all over the world by himself until he finally reached Africa and settled down. In Africa, Kraven realized he was a talented hunter and also made quite the career by hunting down large animals in the wilderness. He also met with a witch doctor named Calypso who gave him a potion that enhanced his strength and made him even more powerful. After earning quite a reputation as a hunter, Kraven came across Spider-Man, who managed to catch his eye. Kraven then studied Spider-Man for quite some time and even set his sights on him. However, he could not defeat the superhero on his own, and he later even joined the Sinister Six, along with the likes of Dr. Octopus, Sandman, Mysterio, Vulture, and Electro to bring Spider-Man down. How did Kraven get his powers? While this theory has not been confirmed, the trailer for the upcoming Kraven the Hunter movie suggested that he got his powers after the blood of a lion fell on an open wound and mixed with his DNA. When he was younger, Kraven encountered a lion during one of his hunts, and he took too long to attack the animal. When the lion noticed Kraven, he attacked him and even chomped all over his body. While Kraven was wounded, the lion also suffered some damage, and a droplet of its blood fell on Kraven's injuries. After the lion's blood mixed with his blood, it caused some changes to his DNA and even gave him extraordinary strength and stamina, among other powers. The story has been explored in the trailer for the upcoming movie, but the comic version of this character got his powers through different means. In the comics, Kraven approached the witch doctor Calypso and asked her to give him a magical potion. Calypso practiced voodoo, and she gave him a herbal potion that was created from rare and exotic jungle elixirs. Kraven often consumed this potion to enhance his strength and speed, which also helped him go on for hours before feeling any fatigue. The potion gave him superhuman stamina, enabling his musculature to produce fewer fatigue toxins than a regular human. Even though Kraven has aged over time, the potion helped him maintain the physique and health of a 30-year-old and blessed him with stamina and longevity. Moreover, the elixir also granted him superhuman curability and made him resistant to any attacks or injuries. Is Kraven the Hunter stronger than Captain America? After Kraven consumed Calypso's potion, he gained several new powers, and his body also underwent numerous enhancements that made him stronger than ever. These newfound attributes made him the best of the best, and it's even said that he was stronger than Captain America after drinking the potion. His body had evolved beyond the scope of human evolution, and he truly became a deadly adversary who surpassed many other supernatural beings in terms of physical strength. How physically strong was Kraven the Hunter? Now that we've established that Kraven was even stronger than Captain America at the peak of his physique, we know that he was an extremely strong being, possessing superhuman strength. He was strong enough to lift around 2 tons in weight without batting an eyelid, and he was also known for his speed. Due to his history as a hunter, Kraven could move faster than most athletes, and he could even sprint short distances at a speed of 60 miles per hour. While most hunters relied on guns or bows and arrows, Kraven was skeptical of such weapons, and he typically preferred to hunt animals with his bare hands. It would take forever to wear him out during a fight. He did rely on a mystical serum to gain strength, but he was also quite powerful on his own without consuming the serum. When Spider-Man tried to attack Kraven by punching him, Kraven's body could easily withstand the blunt force trauma without suffering any consequences. He was also incredibly agile, and his body coordination and balance were on par with Spider-Man. Typically, Kraven would hunt his opponents or even animals by weakening them beforehand and then going in for the kill when they were too tired to defend themselves. What made Kraven Earth's best hunter? Kraven was quite the natural when it came to hunting, and he also had several skills that came in quite handy when he was out there on the field. For instance, he was a master animal trainer and he could subdue almost any animal. He could also train them and make them follow his orders with such perfection that people even wondered if he used some form of mind control over these beings. For instance, Kraven could train two different animals to a point where they would function in complete synchronization to follow his orders. Besides taming animals, Kraven was also a skilled hunter and tracker. He could track down any animal's trail by noticing minor details, and his experience also gave him quite a lot of knowledge about unique hunting and tracking methods. He had also developed many new techniques to hunt supernatural beings, such as Spider-Man, and he could even track him even when jumping across rooftops and buildings. Kraven also possessed vast medical knowledge regarding medicines, poisons, and their effects on humans and animals. He also knew the different kinds of exotic poisons, drugs, and tranquilizers that were readily available in nature, and all this information eventually helped Kraven become Earth's best hunter. Ultimate Marvel's Kraven genetically modified his body. A newer version of Kraven was introduced in the Ultimate Marvel comics, wherein he seems to have genetically modified his body. While Kraven typically relies on temporary enhancements and herbal potions to become more powerful, the Ultimate Kraven went one step ahead and permanently modified his physique to become more powerful. In this story arc, Kraven was a reality television star who was trying to locate Spider-Man and then bring him on his show, where he would kill different animals on screen with his bare hands. When the general public decided to cancel his show, Kraven decided to intimidate the audience and even promised to kill Spider-Man on live television. He soon went after Spider-Man and even hunted him down while he was caught up in a fight with Dr. Octopus. Spider-Man was quite annoyed by this interruption, and he easily defeated Kraven with just one single punch. Kraven was then arrested for endangering the public, but he didn't give up so easily and then decided to genetically enhance his body, even broke several genetic laws in an attempt to gain attributes of all the animals he had hunted to date. But his actions caught the attention of the Ultimates, who arrested him and put him in a shield containment facility. He somehow managed to escape with the help of Electro, Norman Osborn, and other such Spider-Man villains, but he was later recaptured and put into another shield containment facility with even more security. Can Kraven father children? Kraven can most certainly father children, and he's even been involved with several different partners over the course of his life. He has also had many children, and he has quite a complex family tree. To begin with, Kraven had an illegitimate child named Alyosha Kravinoff with a mutant woman ages ago. This child was introduced in the Spectacular Spider-Man comics, where we learn that Alyosha was left all alone and had to fend for himself in the deep jungles of Africa. He eventually traveled to New York City, and then he continued his father's legacy of fighting superheroes, and he had also inherited powers such as superhuman strength, speed, and healing factor. Eventually, Kraven's youngest daughter, Anna, hunted him down and killed him because she wished to build a new family legacy and didn't want to include illegitimate children. Kraven also married a wealthy Russian woman named Sasha, and he had two children named Vladimir and Anna with her. Anna hardly had any contact with Kraven, but she sought his approval and hoped he would mentor her. In her attempt to get closer to her father, she hunted down his other children and, as we mentioned, killed Alyosha in an attempt to prove her worth. On the other hand, Vladimir took quite a different approach and adopted a new identity as the Grim Hunter. After Kraven committed suicide in the Spider-Man comics, Vladimir was determined to avenge his father's death by defeating Spider-Man. He also held a grudge against his father, who hardly gave him any attention during his childhood, and instead sought out a fight with Spider-Man. Vladimir used his father's serum to gain superpowers and become more powerful, but he was still killed off by Peter Parker's evil clone, Kane. Eventually, his mother resurrected him, but this ritual turned him into a lion beast. After Kraven was resurrected, he took pity on his son after realizing that he had been reduced to a hybrid beast, and he then decided to euthanize him. Kraven also had another son named Netrochi Tannengarten, who sought out Alyosha and tried to kill him after trying to get close to him. While Netrochi insisted that he wanted to be close to someone else who shared the same blood, Kraven's brother, Chameleon, showed up at the scene and killed Netrochi before before he could harm Alyosha. Kraven also had a relationship with Calypso, who had also used to supply him with the herbal potion that made him strong. Calypso has often stirred up trouble for the Kravinoffs, and she once even poisoned Alyosha and Spider-Man and then hypnotized them into fighting each other. Eventually, Alyosha fought back against Calypso's attacks and even killed her during this encounter. Kraven certainly had quite a complicated romantic life, fathering numerous children who either hated him or fought against him to win his favor. Did the curse make him immortal? During the Last Hunt storyline, Kraven temporarily managed to get rid of Spider-Man by shooting him with a tranquilizer dart. He then buried Spider-Man at his estate and then went around the city in Spider-Man's costume. After creating chaos for some time, Kraven decided to do some good and captured one of Spider-Man's most formidable villains, Vermin. In the meantime, Spider-Man came back to life and then confronted Kraven, who boasted about the fact that he was able to capture Vermin. While this was something Spider-Man had been unable to do so far, Kraven was quite satisfied with himself and even felt that he had restored his honor. He then handed himself to the police and also took his own life. Later on, Kraven's widowed wife Sasha decided to perform a ritual to resurrect her husband and bring him back to life. Sasha's family also helped her capture Spider-Man, as they intended to sacrifice him in order to resurrect Kraven. However, they mistakenly captured Peter Parker's clone, Kane, and then killed him. This mistake led to the ritual going horribly wrong, and Kraven was then cursed with immortality unless Spider-Man himself killed him. As soon as he returned to life, Kraven approached Spider-Man and begged him to kill him, but the superhero refused to do so. In a fit of rage, Kraven traveled to Savage Land with his family and even killed Sasha when she refused to live there. After accepting his fate, Kraven decided to become more powerful than ever, and he also asked the High Evolutionary for help in creating 87 clones of himself. Kraven then decided to raise an army of Kravens, but he later returned to Savage Land and learned that only one of his clones had managed to survive. This clone explained that he had killed the rest of the clones to prove himself worthy, and Kraven then named this clone the last son of Kraven. Kraven and his soul clone then created an elaborate survival area in Central Park, where they hoped to invite other hunters and then kill them. Kraven even invited Spider-Man to the arena while he still hoped that the superhero might kill him. However, Spider-Man simply freed the hunters from the arena and still refused to kill Kraven. Kraven finally understood Spider-Man's reasoning and morals and embraced his morals and spirit. He then puts on Spider-Man's costume out of respect for him and then asks his soul clone to kill him. Since Kraven had finally embodied the superhero spirit, he was freed from the curse, and his clone was able to kill him. After his death, the last son of Kraven discovered a note that Kraven had left behind, where he declared that his clone would take his place as the new Kraven the Hunter. His new avatar in the upcoming Kraven the Hunter film. Kraven has gained a lot of popularity among Spider-Man fans, and recently a Kraven the Hunter movie was also announced by Sony Pictures Entertainment. While the movie has been developing for a while, the film finally has a release date and is slated for the 6th of October 2023. Aaron Taylor-Johnson has been cast to play the titular role, and this movie also depicts Kraven in a new form. He appears to be faster and more agile than his regular self, and he also has a few deadly weapons to aid him in his hunting missions. The trailer for this movie was also released recently, where we can see Kraven as a master hunter. The film also explores his backstory and sheds light on incidences such as when he gained his powers after the lion's blood dripping into his wounds and mixing in with his DNA. The trailer seems quite promising, and it also shows Kraven in a deadly form where he hunts animals and humans alike. Conclusion. To sum it up, Kraven the Hunter is undoubtedly one of the most legendary villains that Spider-Man has ever faced. His excellent hunting skills, supernatural strength, and deadly instinct make him a monstrous entity, and we can't wait to see him on the big screen very soon. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't done so already. Otherwise, have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.
I stared death in the